Hello and welcome to the first High Tea with Sarah, where we collect every first and third Saturday of the month at 10 a.m. for just 10 minutes to kick up our feet, have a seat, have a little cup of tea, and dive into something around functional nutrition that may help you move forward in your life. I'm Sarah Riley. I'm a burnout recovery specialist. I work with burnout business leaders, world-class athletes, and those with chronic complex conditions to help them recover, rebuild, reboot, repair, and achieve their peak performance, and so they can be turned back on in their body, their life, and their mission again. For the last 15 years, I have worked in the field, been involved in the arena of electromagnetic fields and their impact of human health. And in our last virtual tea date, which was the previous format and time, we talked about cell phones and how they sabotage your sleep. And since then, I've gotten a flood of questions around, well, what else can I do, Sarah, to safeguard my health? And do I need to safeguard my health? Is there any danger with these? And so we're going to have this conversation because in the last week, this has become a hot topic, especially in the town of Danville, California, where there's a hot issue turning up. And to learn more about that, you can check into my most recent Facebook Live on my page. No time to go into it here right now because we've got 10 minutes. So what I do want to address with you today is these questions that are coming in, and especially being flooded with this last week. And it's a hot topic. And it's time we have this conversation. And that is, first of all, let's close the divide on the controversy. Is there any health consequence here? And then to give you just some simple tips that you can take into your life and protect yourself a little bit more than you may be right now. So first of all, let's get on the same page with protection of this technology. When I talk this technology, I'm talking about cell phones, wireless routers, iPads, maybe even cordless phone if you still have one of those. And yes, of course, things like smart meters and things like that. But for the purpose of this conversation, we're going to be talking about things that are in your immediate environment right now, mainly cell phone and, say, a wireless router and an iPad. So first of all, you're not being adequately protected. And here's why. Because the FCC regulations that basically who dictate the rules around the cell phone safety is the FCC regulations. They're based on ionizing, heating, thermal radiation. And the bottom line is that a cell phone is actually, it is non-ionizing radiation. So non-thermal, non-heating. So it's really apples and oranges when you get down to the details of how we're being protected. We're being protected under standards that really don't apply to the technology that we're using. So it's up to you to be even more of a savvy, conscious consumer and to protect yourself. Because let's face it, you're going to continue likely using your cell phone. So how about use it smart, okay? I'm not anti-technology, I'm really not, but I am pro-safe technology. So let's get wireless wise together. Secondly, there are over 2,000 studies validating health impacts with electromagnetic radiation, wireless radiation, or radio frequency radiation. It kind of goes under those variety of terms. For the purpose of this conversation, I'm going to call it wireless radiation. I just think it's easier for people to understand that. So basically, like I said, there's over 2,000 studies and validating physiological impact. And most recently, two exciting landmark studies, one called the NTP study. It's a $25 million study done over 10 years. Another study called the Ramazzini study, done over in Italy about 10 years. Both of these most recently, their results mirrored each other on two separate continents, that there's clear evidence of cancer with cell phone use. And so let's just stop pushing away the evidence of proof that there is physiological impact, and let's get smart. So on that note of getting smart, I've been asked to give some simple tips of how to protect yourself. So let's just start with 5. Are there more than 5 tips? Yes, there are, but let's start with 5 right here because these are big ones. Okay, so tip number 1, how to be more wireless wise. So here we go. So the first tip is keep the cell phone off your body while it's on. Don't carry your cell phone on your body while it's on. Put it onto airplane mode, and that's really easy to do. All you do is you just go to settings, and then you just simply click a little button. Whoops, there it is, somewhere in there. I can get the angle right. And then you just click a button called airplane, and then it's going to cut the radiation on your phone entirely. So do that if you have to carry your phone on you, okay? And by all means, don't carry it on you in your bra or in your pants. Not good. That radiation is going straight through your body and it is biologically active. All right, so second tip is to don't sleep with your cell phone, okay? Turn it again onto airplane mode and you can still use it as an alarm. And let's say you're waiting for an important emergency call in the middle of the night, then by all means, put your cell phone in an entirely different room, okay? And then next tip is tip number 3 is distance is your friend when you are dialing or during your call, okay? Do not hold it near your head. Your brain's in there, not good, okay? So what you wanna do is hold it away from your body. Your headset is your friend, okay? Or speakerphone is your friend, holding it at least 2 feet away. Or if you want the least amount of exposure, just text. Again, holding it at least a foot away from your body, because when you're sending and receiving that text is the highest blast of radiation, okay? So really, really, really important. And here's a bonus tip for you. When you're dialing your cell phone, that is when the radiation is the highest, because the cell tower is doing a strong communication to connect you to that call. So you want to make sure that when you're dialing, that cell phone is away from you. When you're on a call, that cell phone is away from you and your head, all right? So, and another bonus tip for you, if you're sending anything like a large file, like a video, by all means, keep it away from you. Or if you're watching a video, keep it away from you, because that is the mothership load of data for a phone to handle. And so that radiation is working hard to make it happen for you, all right? So tip number 4 is if you have wireless in your house, then by all means turn it off at night. The radiation signal is disruptive to the sleep cycle and it's surrounding you in oxidative stress radiation, okay? And the best bet is to do this, is to simply get an Ethernet cord. This is what I'm using right now for my connection. And what I do is you just use an Ethernet cord and it looks like this. It's so easy, it attaches to your router, plugs into your computer. If you don't have a port for the computer, say on a MacBook Air, then what you're gonna do is you're gonna get an adapter. You just go like that, bam. And then you pop it into your computer, problem solved. What you will need to do, call your provider, have them turn off your wireless signal on your router. And then this plugs into the back of your router. Easy peasy. You totally clean up your environment. You eliminate the wireless radiation. And guess what? With this bad boy, you've got a stronger connection, a more secure connection, and it's safer. So I'm all for Ethernet. That's what I use at home. So the next tip is, drum roll, don't dial or be on a phone call on your cell phone when you're surrounded by metal. For example, in your car, in a bus, on a train, on subway, on BART, in a plane, in an elevator. Because what happens is that frequency is exponentially increased and mirrors back onto you because it's being reflected by the metal. And that cell tower and that cell phone are trying so hard to communicate with each other. So that's what you got to do, is really avoid use of that in those basically metal cages, okay, those metal containers, which is the car, bus, train, plane, subways and trains and things like that, really important. So if anything, just have, you know, if your friends are in your car and they're making a phone call, to say, hey man, can you text instead, or maybe wait till we get to our destination. So there are some suggestions for you. This is a really complicated, deep, complex topic. So I'm going to provide some links for you below this video that'll help you you can geek out and dig around and learn about the FCC regulations, learn about those 2,000 studies that have already been done, and learn about some hot topics that are really facing our country today in regards to our exposure to this radiation. I see I've got some visitors here on the call. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you, I truly appreciate it. And I want to thank the 11,000 viewers that tuned in for the previous virtual tea date with Sarah. So we are now at 10:10. I knocked it out in 10 minutes. Unreal. I hope this is helpful. Hey, float me any comments or any questions if you need some guidance around this. And I wish you all a beautiful Saturday. May you be well and thrive. Bye-bye.